Good morning, Grade 1 Harmony. I am Teacher Krishna and welcome to our English class. Today, I will tell you a story that will definitely teach you a lesson. But before we start, let us all stand up and thank our Almighty Father for giving us this day. Let us greet everybody by singing the song, Hello, How Do You Do? Hello, 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 how do you do? I'm glad to be with you, and you, and you, and you. Hello, 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 how do you do? I'm glad to be with you, and you, and you, and you. Very good, everybody. Now, I am glad to see you all present here today. Please pick up the trash underneath your chairs before you take a seat. Thank you. As I have said earlier, we are going to read again a story. But first, I want you to identify the following pictures I am going to post and sound out the beginning sound of the first letter of each word. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. What do you think is the first picture? That's right. Now what is the sound of the beginning letter of the word town? T, t, t. How about the second picture? Where do you think is it located? Very good. It is in the forest. Now what is the sound of the first letter of the word forest? Very good. Now for the last one, what do you think is the girl doing? Correct! The girl is painting. Now what is the sound of the first letter of the word painting? Very good. Well done, kids! Now I have here some flashcards containing words that you are going to act out. So I request everybody to please stand up and prepare your bodies to do the action. For the first word, walking. Next, jumping. Next, running. Next, dancing. For the last one, sleeping. Very good. So how did you feel about the activity? While doing the activity, does it require you to use your voice? So how can we express something even without talking? Very good. We can express something through actions, even without using our voices. Great job, everybody! Do you still remember our classroom rules before reading a story? Those are right. So sit properly, listen attentively, raise your hand if you have a question, and enjoy listening as I read again the story Nina in the Town of Daldalina. Nina in the Town of Daldalina. Story by Aliona Silva and illustrations by Luisito Chua. In the town of Daldalina, there lived those who possessed the loudest voices in the country. Because, if you have a soft voice, perhaps people don't need to hear what you have to say, was their oft-repeated expression whenever anybody in their town happened to have a weak voice. And so, the town of Daldalina was renowned for being the noisiest town in the entire Philippines. But Nina had no voice at all, and this had her parents terribly worried. How will she make friends if she cannot hold her own against their loud voices? Her mother said. How will she get an education if her teacher won't be able to hear her answers? Her father added. And so, they sought the help of doctors, scientists, and faith healers to find out where Nina's voice was. But not one of them knew where Nina's voice was. If she hasn't found her voice at this age, it's likely she may never find it at all, the doctor said. Perhaps there is nothing that she needs to say, the scientist added. You should just accept that she wasn't meant to have a voice, the faith healers concluded. Nina, accompanied by her parents, went searching for her voice in every corner in the town of Daldalina. They went to the buildings in town, knocked on the doors of every household, walked every street, but Nina's voice was nowhere to be found. They listened to every speech, vocal performance, and sermon in town, but Nina's voice was still nowhere to be found. It created a scandal in the town of Daldalina when the people discovered Nina had no voice. She does not belong in our town, one of the neighbors said. Oh dear, having someone without a voice could certainly ruin our reputation as the noisiest town, one of the shopkeepers added. Nina was terribly miserable in the town of Daldalina. She began to think that what their neighbors said was true, that she did not belong in this town. And so, Nina thought of leaving and looking for her voice somewhere else. Perhaps she might find her voice in some other place much bigger than the town of Daldalina. And so the next day, she bid farewell to her parents. Take care, my dear. Make sure to watch where you're going or you might stumble and fall, her mother told her. Don't forget to take a bit of bread with you. You might get hungry on the road, her father added. Nina journeyed to many different places. She went to the forest and saw all sorts of animals and plants, but her voice wasn't there. Next, she climbed up the mountain where she saw the most beautiful scenery, but her voice wasn't there. She went to the sea and saw the many different colors of fish and corals, but her voice still wasn't there. Tired and miserable, Nina sat down on the sidewalk of a city park. Why couldn't she find her voice anywhere? Maybe what the scientist said was right. She would never find her voice at all. As she sat there, Nina caught sight of some very beautiful drawings. These were pictures of seas, mountains, forests, cities, people, and all sorts of other things. She was amazed at how exquisite they were, and she became aware of a man painting in his own little corner. He kept silent as he worked, as though he did not need to speak to show people the beautiful pictures he had drawn. Perhaps that was where Nina found her voice. She got up and went on another journey, but this time, She drew everything she saw. The mountains she had climbed, the seas she had swum in, the forests she had been to. She all put on record with a paintbrush and pencil. And when she was satisfied with all the work she had done, she traveled back again to the town of Daldalina. Nothing had changed in the town of Daldalina. They were still the noisiest town in the entire country, and were yet unbeaten in carol speaking and giving speeches. And so, when they saw Nina arrive, they all raised their eyebrows in disapproval. "Why is she here? She doesn't belong here," one of the neighbors said. "She will just be an embarrassment to our town," another added. While everyone in the town of Daldalina was in a frenzy, Nina brought out one by one her drawings of great and high mountains, the varicolored fish and corals of the sea, the many different animals of the forest, the charming lights and tall buildings in the city, and even those of the many different people she had met. At that very moment, while the people of the town of Daldalina all lost their voices, they listened to the beautiful voice of Nina. Because of that, everyone from the town of Daldalina came to understand that Nina did not really need a voice to show people who she was. Her drawings were quite enough to tell people that what was in her heart. And everyone just went wild about Nina. All of them wanted to have a drawing and have one made for them by her. They truly admired her for the new voice she had found. Nina was overjoyed to have found her voice in the paintings she created. She was even more delighted when things changed in the town of Daldalina. Yes, they were still the noisiest town in the entire Philippines, but they now listened to those who had weak voices and those who did not have them, like Nina. Well done, kids! You are very good at listening and understanding the story. For the last question, what do you think is the moral or the lesson of the story? Yes, that's right. The lesson of the story is to accept people with disabilities and do not laugh at them. So, are you ready to do something fun? Okay, so I will divide the class into 3 groups, and each group will be given different tasks. After each group is done doing their task, they will present their output in front of the class. Now, for your evaluation, I will be reading a poem, and afterwards, you are going to write the missing words in the spaces provided in each sentence. So please get a piece of paper and then write the sentences flashed in our screen. Is everybody done? Okay, so I will collect the paper, and as for your assignment, you are going to draw the town of Daldalina in your notebooks. Goodbye, Grade 1 Harmony. Thank you for listening and being active today. See you tomorrow!